When we first founded the Roundtable, it was at a time when a lot of roundtables were being formed through the courts or through the police departments. And we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted this to be more community-based with private citizens as well as professional people involved. We all had somewhat of a health background, social services background, but we also tried to involve legislators, school personnel, members of the town government, clergy, and any other group that we thought might be helpful to survivors of domestic violence.
Initially, when we founded the Roundtable, we thought that one of the most important things we could do would be to put resource cards out in establishments that were frequented by a lot of people. So these would be public places where there were restrooms for women. And so we started putting them in religious organizations, daycare centers, healthcare providers' offices, nail and hair salons, public buildings like our town hall and Grange halls and those kind of establishments. So we still do that today. It's a very important part, I think, of our outreach to the community, and we've gotten some positive feedback about the difference it's made. Another part of our outreach program was to connect with the community over what's called Shower for Shelters. And we do this every spring, and we help provide all kinds of household items for people leaving shelter, going into a new apartment.
The very first Shower for Shelters was an actual shower that was held at the library in Sudbury, because Susan and I had been driving. I don't even remember where we were coming from, and we knew that there was a young woman who had just come into shelter who was going to have a baby and had absolutely nothing to provide for this child. So we sent out invitations, and we actually had a tea at the library, and everyone brought items for this child, who I think by the end of the afternoon was so well stocked she probably never had to buy anything until he was like 3 years old.
The programming, I've just learnt so much from it, because I think it's been such a rich and varied program. And I think one of the very first ones I went to, for instance, was the effect of domestic violence on the emotional development of children, which was something I hadn't really thought about before. And I think that those, and some of the workshops, including how to speak to somebody that you feel may be experiencing domestic violence, those practical workshops have been very helpful to me. But generally I feel I've learned a lot from the breadth of the programming, different age groups we've focused on, the different kinds of relationship violence we've focused on, the films we've seen, the One Love film, the Yardley Love film, I just found incredibly powerful, but also very, very, very informative.
Well, the Roundtable's been really quite, I'd say relentless almost, in getting the message out. They do these wonderful little information cards in boxes that they put in a number of, I think, hundreds of locations that everyone manages to fill these little boxes with our little cards, the Roundtable's cards with all of the resources on them. So that's a real plus. I think each of our agencies has had tremendous support from the Roundtable. Mine in particular has had our annual vigil that we do for those people who have lost their lives in the previous year to domestic violence. The vigil's a very poignant, somber, but beautiful experience, and the Roundtable's been a partner with us almost every year. We also do a clergy symposium, and again, that's another constituency that's a part of our work as the Roundtable members. And my agency's clergy symposium has really been quite informative in many ways, and much of what we've learned has come from what our Roundtable members have found out from the clergies that they work with. So it's, again, a sort of a symbiotic partnership that I think is really quite positive and very powerful.
So I feel that what I would like to say really is how thankful I am to the three women who began the Round Table 20 years ago. I think the fact that they seized on the lack of services out here in the suburbs, the energy, the commitment, the passion with which they pursued the formation of the Round Table, I think I'm extremely grateful to them. Everything I've learnt about domestic violence has been at Round Table presentations. So if it wasn't for those three women, I may not even have had that chance. So I am very grateful to them.
Well, I couldn't be happier about what I'm seeing with the Round Table. I think this last year or two, actually now, we've had this beautiful purple lights at our churches that really stop people and have them think about what this purple lighting is all about and ask those questions. So I'm going to say congratulations, Round Table. You've done 20 years of marvelous work in getting the message out. And unfortunately, we're going to need another 20 years at least, but I have no doubt that you will be here for those 20 years. So thank you.
Well, we'd like to say thank you to all of our partners for the last 20 years. We never could have done this without you. So thank you so much.
And also I'd like to thank everyone who's come tonight to attend this celebration, and I certainly want to thank all of our families, because I know that our families have been behind us 100% from day one.